Good morning, Facebook family and friends. Also, good morning to my people on YouTube. I want to thank you all for joining me. I know we have about 8 minutes. I just kind of need to get myself in order, right? I want to say good morning early, give our friends an opportunity to jump on with us. Good morning, Gretchen. How are you? I hope life is treating you well. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm talk a little bit about some of the bills that the governor signed this week. Once we go live, we'll talk about, oh, it's storming. Yeah. Auntie Paula just told me that it is storming in sunny Tampa. Just what I need, right? Cold, now rain. But hey, it is what it is. So I look forward to getting home. I understand we're headed for Tallahassee. Session has been called. First, I think they're going to have a few days of the conferencing for the budget conferencing. I did not request to be on that committee. I got enough with this special committee for taxes to boggle my mind, but I'll have to still pay attention to the budget and see what's going on. If you have something in the budget that's in the transportation silo, please don't hesitate to let me know so that I can kind of follow it. So that's kind of where it is over there in wonderful Tally to the Hassie, right? It's going to be pretty exciting this week to see what kind of compromises they reach. I honestly do not know. Just got a message yesterday saying, hey, by the way, we've reached an agreement. Can't wait to see what the agreement looks like. Got it late last night, so I haven't even done any research to see what it like. Trump passed the bill to the House to remove Medicare. Yeah. Not to totally remove it, but to cut it so deep until so many people will not have a safety net. Basically, it's just pulling the safety net out from under regular people who truly, truly need that safety net. And that's what the gentleman is doing. Little concern for people, more concern for big boys in corporate America with gigantic tax cuts. But hey, we knew that, but obviously there were many people who did not know that. And as a direct result of that, are now beginning to feel the pain. The pain is real. Pain is real, you all. For real, it's real. Yep. So that's kind of where we are. Yeah, I guess so. There's some people who may could afford to go out and go to work that have not gone to work. Well, hey, he's about to put a stop to it, right? That he is. He's about to put a stop to it. Even those who really truly need it won't have it. So, we can't always throw the baby out with the bathwater. Can't do it. You have to be careful. Yeah, we'll be up in just a minute. I'm trying to find out where all of my folk are, you all. Yeah. Well, Gretchen, there's always people who take advantage of systems. So I don't think that's really anything new for us. That's always gone on. However, there are more people who need, I believe, than people who take advantage of systems. I don't know. I've never been on a system, so I don't really know. It's the reason why you should not be committing fraud. Listen, and they put people in jail, and all of that. All of that happens. Yep. Life is tough. And if you don't do the right thing, you will definitely end up in the wrong place. Yep. Good morning, Angelique. How are you this morning? We have about 3 minutes. I came on a little early just so that we could give people an opportunity to come on with us. Yeah. So, good morning. I hope you're doing well this morning. Hold on just a moment. Thank you. Good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Looking forward to getting home. Preparing to head back to Tallahassee finally. At least we can go and get it over with. And that's what's important to me right about now. It's getting it done so that I can really have a summer at home, hopefully, providing they won't call us back again. Good morning, Robin. How are you? Good morning.
Lord, good morning.
You're so silly talking about Lord. What you say?
I just got in last night. I was in Texas this week.
How was it?
Oh, just workshops, and a lot of information about organizing around disasters. So you and I'll be we went off of instinct. The last disaster, so we got our hustle on.
Listen.
Hey, but community, Diane outdid me. I couldn't keep up with her.
I'm used to it.
I was like, oh no, girl, I got to go home and take me a 1 hour nap.
I don't know if I slept at all during the hurricane season. Girl. There's no time to lay down. A lot of good information. That's good.
A lot of information. Just people understanding, like if we get hit by a hurricane, Tampa will not be prepared, and we knew that by the side swipe we received from Milton.
You got it. Well, let's open up the show. It's 8:00.
Okay.
So let's get ready to open up anyway. It's 8 a.m. Good morning, Facebook family and friends. Good morning to those of you who watch us on YouTube. Let me just start by saying my heart goes out to those families who lost loved ones. Well, I hope nobody died on Memorial Weekend, but my heart goes out to those families who loved ones were shot at Cypress Beach. 4 people, I understand, were shot last weekend over at Cypress Beach. You know, Cypress Beach is a thing down at the end of Cypress. If you went straight out Cypress and went under the bridge, there's water down there. And a lot of people go there because it's not, quite like a big giant beach, but I understand that children were running and crying. It's just, I don't know what's wrong with folk. So several people were shot at the beach. I understand it was so traumatic for so many kids, and we wonder why children go to school with angry.
Trauma.
Yeah, because they're traumatized. Absolutely, they are. So I just wanted to say that because I got a text. I was in Vegas, and they were telling me that 4 people had been shot. They didn't think anybody had died, and I haven't heard anything otherwise. So I'm just going to say that our hearts goes out for those who loved ones are injured. Nobody wants their loved one to be in a hospital wondering if you're going to make it or not. Robin, I honestly don't know what we do about this gun violence. I can't even begin to wrap my mind around it. This is just insane. And it looks like no matter what we do, it really doesn't change. Well, I can tell you what people call and tell me. There's no money in the city. Like what?
Money for what?
For people. There's no money in the city. When there's money in the city.
So with the gun violence, that's as if they were robbing and stealing bread.
They're not.
They're killing each other.
They're killing each other just because I might have $2 that you want, or I got a chain around my neck that you might want that I probably think I could go pawn. Some of them are, and some are just angry. They tell me that when there's money in the city, we don't have as much violence. But however, when you're talking about this money that's in the city, it's typically illegal things that are going on. So you making money and somebody headed to jail. Help me to understand it. But hey, that's the mindset of these young folk. We got to go to work. So we've got to figure out how it is that we're going to help create some economic opportunity. And then, like I try to tell folk, you have the unions over there who are looking for people.
They are looking
for people. 100%. They will train you. So it's not like you can't find something. And last time I had a conversation, I can't remember, the electrical workers or the steel workers. I can't remember which one. They were even allowing people who might have had marijuana in their system 30 days. You clear yourself out, and then you can come in and, get into the apprenticeship programs, which they pay you to go to school to learn how to weld or to become an electrician. So you all, we can lead you to the water, but we can't make you drink it. We have held several workshops. We've held several job fairs, and the unions are desperately looking for people. Well, I don't know about this week. After all this craziness with Trump, maybe nobody will be looking for anybody because nobody can move anything. I don't know. This man has lost his ever-loving mind. But you all, we've got to try to figure out how do we help these young folk. But young people, they got to want to help themselves.
That is one. Years ago, when I was working for, one of those organizations, Fair Districts or either Gen X.
Mm-hmm.
And, we were run every bit of 40 to 50 canvassers out a day.
Right.
Right? And that's a lot. I just gave jobs out. And back then it was $12 an hour. And that was a lot of money, making $12 an hour. They wanted me to background check people, but I wouldn't do it because I knew that would cut a lot of people out.
Yep. And it does. It does. I didn't background check in the last election. I put folk on the ground. I think we were running probably about 50, 60 a day. Nah, I just put people on the ground who needed it.
I told them, I said, if you've been in trouble, no problem. I can't have murderers or sex offenders.
Right.
That's it. And I knew that the other people would tell me, because they'll do that.
Everybody knows everybody.
It was tough, and that was the easiest job. But people with records, and not even people with records, younger people, it was hectic with them keeping it. So they have to find their niche.
Yeah.
They have to find their niche, and whatever that is, and make something work from that niche. But then another question is, do they know how to find their niche? Do they know what? Because kids have opportunities like nothing these days. They can make a job. Those little kids that's on that
corner,
on the concrete aisle. Those kids be hustling. I mean, I'm not saying people do that, but they're starting to figure it out, selling water and so forth. So I walk up to the kid, Diane, I say, listen, because I just give them money and then tell them to just give it back to me. But I say, you can't serve people hot water.
You need some cold water. Put it in your ice chest.
Yeah, get ice.
Some of them kids come ready, though. They have their water in their ice. Yeah, they do. Yeah,
some of them do.
That's true.
But it's kids paying attention to what other kids are doing. And then they say, oh, darn, he's making money doing that. They going and doing it. So they're starting early, understanding a trade.
Right. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I much prefer to just figure out. At this point in time, I see these grown, old behind men standing in some places. I'm like, come on, y'all. That's gone. Time gone for it. Take it inside. Time's gone for the corner. They just stand out there to allow the police to arrest you. So then you get yourself a fresh new case. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But hey, such is life. I wanted to talk a little bit this morning about some of the bills that the governor passed. I know you all have probably been hearing about the air conditioning lawsuit. There is a lawsuit that's been filed down in Miami-Dade, where 5 people have died, I understand, from something associated with heat. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they filed a lawsuit against the Department of Corrections. And my understanding is that the Department of Corrections was trying to get the judge not to hear it, but the judge said, nope, we're going to hear it.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to hear it. So now let's see what happens as it begins to move forward, because this thing is critical. They're not paying anybody attention. Basically, the governor said this year that, hey, prisons was not a priority for him. So he really wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to any of that.
He needs to, because hopefully he or his wife will be bound.
Then they'll get to see what it's like, right? Well, one of the bills, cruelty.
I saw that.
Okay, and they're going to create a database, which, hey, I have nothing against it. I believe that people should not be torturing their animals and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But you care more about the animals than you do the people that we serve. And I think that's the part that really gets with me, because we don't care that it's 100 degrees inside of a facility and people are in a concrete jungle.
Yeah, that's where their votes are, though, because all you have to do is say something about an animal, and Becky Sue's come out. So they're doing that for votes.
Yep. So I don't know if you all have heard about the currency. We're going to now be using gold and silver for Tinder to be able to pay our bills. You laughing, but it's the truth. It's House Bill 999, and we're going to be using gold and silver coins to pay your bills. Now, as a private business owner, I don't have to accept gold and silver from Tinder. No paper dollars. The gold, literally, and you all have been hearing about it for 100 years, to get rid of money, paper money, and use coins, gold and silver coins. You'll be able to use them just like you do dollars. If that's not crazy,
so
but hey.
They want to get rid of the dollars.
They say you can keep your paper dollars, but they want to start to integrate gold and silver.
Why?
Because we can. Because we can do whatever we want to in Tallahassee, and people have to go along with it. Listen, that was our argument. But why? I mean, what's wrong with what you have? And their thing is, hey, why not use gold and silver coins to pay your bills? The goal at some point is to not have paper money. Plastic, gold and silver coins. I'm like, we need something to do. But the bill passed. The governor just signed it.
He did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, allowing you to use gold and silver coins. They are even talking about how to be able to set up ATMs that will be able to dispense them. Or at your bank, you may be able to deposit them. I think the bill has a long ways to go. It'll be 2026 before that comes into play. So by 2026, maybe we will have found out the kinks and figured out how this thing really works. But according to them, much beknownst to me, there are several businesses out there, and that's what they do. Just gold and silver coins, and how to create that as your legal tender. And I understand it's been going on for about 8 years. I had never heard about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing about it. They'll keep bringing it back until it passes.
Somebody said, where's the Tico something? Tico don't even have a...
He's making a joke. So he bring his copper.
I didn't see that part. I was like, I don't know. But yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. It's crazy. So that bill did pass. Um, also, we passed a bill that says all coaches of athletes must be background checked with a fingerprint and what was the other part of it? Fingerprints and something. Oh, and the criminal record, of course. So that way they can find out if you've ever done anything. My only concern, and I get it, you need to know who's with your children. There's no question about that. I also believe, though, that here in the city of Tampa, we've got to figure out as a city how do we allow people who have background challenges that were not child abusers, sex molesters, murderers to be able to come back into our park. Good morning, Shania. You could not get on?
No, ma'am. I was sending requests, but I never got accepted.
Send it back again, baby. I'm talking.
Okay.
Let's see if we get it.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. So in our city, we need many of the guys who were coaches on to do anything to our children who've stayed out of trouble for many, many years. So, I just don't understand
That's
how.
one of my requests with racial reconciliation. That's
Good.
one of my.
Thank you.
Because they said at one time they were allowed.
Yes.
When the city, good morning, Shania.
Good morning.
When the city changed their system or changed to another vendor, now it's not letting them. They're not getting through. And these are the kids. These are men that are coaches and so forth. And mind you, now it's not just black men. It's not just black men. It's everybody that want to coach that has a record. All right, so not just black men are affected by this, but we're looking out for our black men
and our women.
And women.
Yeah.
They want to be a part of the system.
That's right. And there was a time when we allowed coaches, you had to tell whatever crime you may have committed and that kind of stuff. But they just decided that nobody with a criminal history, period, should be allowed in Parks and Rec, which is detrimental to our young men because they need to see people who look like them. And when you talk about somebody who's not been in trouble for 10, 15 years, 20 years, and you still will not allow them at our parks with our youth, then you wonder what's happening to our young boys as they're coming through because they don't have a man's presence to help them to better understand and to help, to kind of mold their thoughts and help them along. They need a male figure to be able to talk to. And many don't have that.
Coaches is that village. I remember when I was working for regional council, and we would get families in where their kids are taken away, and they got representation from regional council. Those people were so nasty and cruel. If a grandparent wanted to take the kid, and the grandparent had gotten in trouble and was an upstanding citizen, they would not let him do it because of his background.
Right.
No matter what, and that was the dumbest thing to me. But they'd rather put him in the foster care system with strangers instead of trying to place him with somebody that's at home, a grandparent or so.
I feel you. David says, is there an alternative for Hillsborough kids that lost Pinella's Job Corps? I have no idea. I just heard that the president took away all funding for the Job Corps, which I think is awful. I know so many kids when I was coming up that went through the Job Corps and became very productive individuals. I don't know if Hillsborough County, many that are homeless. Listen, it appears that he's trying to create a new population of homelessness, and it's seniors and children. I saw just a couple of days ago some seniors out of the Miami area. One lady, she was sleeping in her car. Somebody else was on a bench. Hey, that's what's happening here right now because of the choices that I say we, not including me and any of us, but the choices that they made in allowing this lunatic, this 34-time convicted felon, rapist, and fraudster to become president of the United States of America. So now this is what we're facing. And every day he's taking away funding from something. Earlier,
Yeah.
before you all got on, it was Gretchen who brought to my attention something else that we need to make sure that people understand. The Medicaid, the big beautiful bill passed the House. I don't know what's going to happen in the Senate. Anybody been following it? Anybody heard anything about it?
I think it's going to have a tougher time because I think I saw where some Republicans are against it.
Yeah, they are. But they seem to cave. So hopefully, because Donald Trump is losing his juice, because he's just plummeted in the polls. However, he still has a base. But now they are beginning to feel like they can stand up against him. But his big, beautiful bill is going to cost so many people so much pain, especially people getting Medicaid, Section 8, food stamps. This man is cutting everything in order to be able to give a $5 trillion tax break to the richest of the rich people.
And they have a problem with that bill. I mean, they have a big problem with that.
My hope is
increasing the deficit by
$5 trillion.
He increased the deficit. He left an increased deficit when he left the first
time. There you go. And he's back at it again. But they keep talking about how conservative they are. There's nobody over there conservative. They're petrified of him. So they're allowing this craziness. And then one congressman says, well, he'll get $3 trillion this year. And then you still adding to the debt. What do you mean?
And what's his name?
Johnson? Who?
No, the car guy.
Musk. Elon Musk.
He out.
Yeah, he left yesterday.
And Elon, they fell out of love.
I just saw him. Did you see him give Elon a big key?
Oh,
He gave him a big key. I don't know what the hell that symbol is for the big key. It's a big crazy looking key, but that's what he gave him. They had a press conference in the White House yesterday or the day before, and Elon said that he was leaving. Elon has to stop taking mushrooms because of this big, beautiful bill. You're right.
He came out and spoke out against it. He said he didn't agree with it.
The big, beautiful bill. Because his folk have told him, you better get your butt up out of there because you can't run Tesla with your craziness.
Because they were trying to destroy him, and he felt that his spaceships were disintegrating in the air. Everything was going wrong with him.
Good, as he deserved.
Yeah.
Sybil says that was a gold key. Yes, it was a gold key. It was a big gold key in a box, but it looked crazy. But Trump says Elon is really not leaving. He will be back and forth, but they cannot tell you where they found any real abuse, waste and abuse. Yeah. But you put thousands and thousands of people out of a job. You've taken away people's life savings in the stock market that some people will never get to rebound from. And then there will be those who might stick and stay. Some people are going to have to use their monies to live off of what they have remaining because now they don't have a job. So, hey.
The real estate market is crazy in the DMV. So many homes are being foreclosed on.
It's happening.
People lost their jobs and so forth.
That's right. I asked our tax appraiser about that, Bob Enriquez, and he said that our numbers are up. I mean, not to my surprise. I was expecting a bubble. Yeah. I just say I'm sorry for the people who lose their homes, but I'd like to say for those of you out there looking to purchase, it will be your time to actually be able to pick up a house at a decent rate because the cost is going to have to go down. Interest rates are going to remain pretty much stable for the moment. They're up around 7% right now. So, but if the price of the house drops in the market, there'll be lots of them available. You'll be able to get yourself your first home. So those of you all who are looking to purchase, get yourself prepared. Make sure your credit's in order and be ready when the time comes.
Yeah.
So they also passed a children with disability bill, which is good for the kids. It's just that I don't quite understand. I put $750,000 into a program for summer programs for kids with disability through the University of Florida Center of Autism. 750,000? How about 700 million? Huh?
They get it. It just goes to them.
Yeah, that's gonna go for a program. But you're talking about the whole state of Florida. They're just gonna do kids in Gainesville, where the University of Florida is located, and you put 750,000 into it. Listen, we like to pass bills, but we're not passing them with the necessary funding that it needs to make these things happen. There are so many kids on the disability list. It's crazy. Every year, we brag about, well, we took it down to 1,500, 1,000 to 20,000 people sit on that list. And people sit on that list for many, many years trying to wait to get help for their loved ones.
And that's just for a summer program?
Oh, this summer program is a 750,000, but no, for kids that need this for everyday living, like transportation, all of this wraparound services. Some people have to go to homes, and them homes really eat up a large portion of the money. But knowing that, as opposed to giving all these tax breaks, we should be putting money into trying to help our kids. Yeah. We did a little bit better this year. Every year we're trying to do a tad bit better, but I promise you all, we're not doing nearly what we should to be able to help our people. Good morning, Shania. What's going on? What's going on, my dear? Blessed. Can you tell us, we're headed back to Tallahassee. Do you know, they said look at your state email. I am not on the budget conference committee, so does that mean I don't have to go back on Monday?
They haven't said what committees are meeting on what day.
So that means we all still have to go. Oh, Shania froze.
Every day. I froze?
Yeah, for a second. Go ahead.
Okay. All they have said is that conferencing will start on Tuesday, so they finally have come up with the budget. Everybody's in agreement now. Everybody's happy. So we will be going back on Monday, and they're going to start conferencing on Tuesday. So that's all we know.
So do we not know? Guess we don't. How many days? Did they even talk about that in their little text message, or they didn't say?
They said up until Friday, but it's kind of confusing. So hopefully they will clarify some things, because you all are going to the floor on Thursday. And then they said from Tuesday through Friday, but they said also that Sine Die will be on the 16th. So we're trying to figure out, right. So we're trying to figure out, are we going up this week? Are we coming back and then going back? Or is it this week and staying through the 16th? So that's the question and answer right now. That's the confusion. Well,
so y'all can see we're confused. That's where we say we're done. We drop the handkerchief. Sine Die is, that means budget's balanced. And we're ready to go home for real, until we see you next year. But hey, you heard anything about what's in the budget at all? Who decided on what?
Oh, I do. They were saying that there was right. I should have. They dropped it in the group chat, so they didn't actually put it in.
Okay, well, give me the scoop, because you see, we don't have a group text, so I don't even know. What are they saying?
I do know that state employees are getting a raise, so yay for us.
Y'all are getting a raise?
We are getting a raise.
Really?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to fire you, because I'm gonna have to take your job. I'm gonna take her job. They already make twice what I earn. That's awful. Go ahead. Oops, see, she's stuck. So y'all gonna get a raise, and what else is happening? That's part of this budget?
Yes, it's in the budget. I guess in the past it's been 3%, but they moved it up to 4%. This year.
1 whole percentage point.
Right, but apparently
they happy.
That's actually a big deal this year. Yeah.
Wish it was a big deal for us. We don't get a paycheck raise.
Somebody, I guess, McClure, he actually had suggested 0%. So that's why everybody's like, oh, okay, like this is actually pretty good, because in the beginning it was just 0%. So
wow.
We went from 0 to 4%. There is something else that is 38 million. Off the top of my head, I should have looked at it before I hopped on, but I heard that, there's different areas where they've like looked at the property tax. They're doing a budget tax cut in one department. So there's some big numbers in there.
So do we know if our property taxes is a part of this budget, or we're kicking it down the road? I can see us kicking it down the road. I can't see them coming in with any substantial information as it relates to cutting property taxes around the state, because they can't anyway. It's got to go on the ballot, but I can't even imagine them even talking about it honestly before next year.
Right, because I feel like that would make you all's committee pointless.
Right.
If they talk about it, so
right.
And you all's committee is still, in the process of trying to figure that out. So I don't think that there's anything substantial in this one about property taxes.
Good. Because you might not know what happened if you lost all the property taxes in the state of Florida. And what we were asking was, how do you replace it? How do cities and municipalities operate without that money? So we're still meeting.
Well, now you have a whole year to educate people on that, because
right.
It's going to come back again.
Oh yeah. No, we're meeting from now through January. It's a special committee of 35 people that the speaker chose to sit on this property tax special committee, and there's 35 of us. And so our job from now till January is to keep meeting and coming up with ideas on ways that we think we can get rid of property taxes. I don't see it, and I don't think most of anybody else sees it either, both Democrats and Republicans, but they're expecting us to come back with something. So what we're doing is we're having boot camps, and we're meeting with the property appraisers and the city council people and all the financial people from around the state of Florida, both big counties and small, to see what would be the impact and where do they think we might be able to pick up money. Some people have said fines and fees. Well, really? Yeah, real hot mess. That's the best I can tell you.
Because that means that it'll be more policing, police stopping you for stupid tickets. I was driving with my Uber driver last night, and he was just talking about how he was stopped by the police, and I forgot what the ticket was for, but it was $281. So that just means increased tickets, from Big Brother, and that's not right. They may be. I would say there should be tiers with somebody that owns their house. Because I think the problem comes in is when new properties are built or new stuff come in. That's when the property taxes go up, right?
They grow up gradually, though. They can't just automatically go up. They go up a little bit every year. The biggest problem has been that I buy your house. You were at a certain tax rate. I buy your house. Now I find out at closing, mine has doubled what yours was. And people don't understand that. People would like to see you be able to pay that rate at least for a few years while you get adjusted. But that's not how it is. If you bought my house, my rate might have been right here. When you buy it, you're buying it at a higher price. Therefore, you're now having to pay a much greater tax bill. And that's been a main concern. So they're talking about that. What do we do about that? How do we help ensure that a person buying that house doesn't get clobbered with this extra property taxes that they didn't anticipate, because they looked at yours, and some people saying, well, that's the realtor's job to have known to tell their person, you won't get Robin's rate, you'll have a new tax amount. So that's been a problem. I just don't know really how they're going to handle it, because in some counties the only thing they have is property taxes, period. So they don't want to lose any of their property taxes. Yeah, because they don't have. Oh, yeah, I hear it from over here. Mm-hmm. So, that's part of what's happening. So I will get to see.
And it's just not homeowners either. It's businesses.
Renters. That means that if I'm the landlord and you go up on my property taxes, I'm going to increase your rents. I have no choice. I'm not going to increase your rent because now I have a bigger tax burden. So not only do we have to be concerned with the homeowners, we've got to be concerned with what impact will this have on our renters, and what do we do to help stabilize that piece for these landlords? Because the more we charge them, the higher they're going to get on people's rent, and people cannot afford any additional rent right this moment, especially with the way that folk have lost their jobs. April says, good morning. The school is officially out. The East Tampa Brain Booster Camp currently has openings, and it's up on the screen how to register. So you all, that is an excellent program. Oh, they're having a mandatory orientation on June 7th at 2:00. That means if you miss orientation, you will not be able to take part in this brain booster. And my hat's off to those ladies, because those children, they keep them right on task with wherever they were in school to try and ensure that they don't lose what they learned all year long over the summer. Because so many times that is what happened. Yeah. So for those out there who might want to donate to them, or you might want to pick a day for breakfast for them, or pick a day for lunch for them. That's typically what I try and do, is pick a lunch and a breakfast day that I am responsible for taking care of it. Or if you know of an agency, like we went to the aquarium, to be able to get tickets for them to be able to go to the aquarium. There's just so many things you can help them to do. And they're helping children who parents really cannot afford to send their kids to these extracurricular activities. But they do make sure that the children are being fed, and their school is no joke. It's like being in a class, but with some fun added to it. So
that's how I applaud April and Alicia for doing it, and others. I'm not sure who's all involved with it, but that's how it was back in the day. And we have to create a way for it not to be, for our situation not to have like the school do it. How do we get clusters of groups of people to do it during the summer? We're taking care of our own.
That's right.
So and that's the only way it's going to work, because we can't rely on the school. They've already told us that. And what they're learning with April and Alicia, their group, may enhance them for school to be better in school.
That's right.
School, and to be more prepared.
That's right. To be better engaged. School. That's right. Going back to school, they have not lost all they had during the school year over the summer. Now they're having to try to start over. And they really work very well with the kids. I can't remember the number they had last year, maybe 35, 40. They had a lot of children. Yeah, they had a lot of kids. And what we have to remember is, hey, nobody's funding it. I think one time they may have gotten something from somebody, but Children's Board should be in a position to fund this type of a program. It is a not-for-profit organization that they have set up, so it's not like I won't be accountable, because I have records, and here's who's here and who's there. So it's not like they can't, help organizations like that to help these children during the summer, because all of us in areas where we have some educators, they need to step up and do this 100%. Because it'll help our children.
100%. April, so the program is going outside of Silver Oaks now. They had 26
last year. Yeah, there was a bunch of them. She's asking you, is it outside of Silver Oaks, or it's just Silver Oaks kids? But anyway, you all, so they have 3 bills for children with disability this year. Most of it begins next year. My hope is that we really help get some of these kids off the Medicaid waiver. And I understand that some of our services are terrible. Yes, Yes. Yes, she says yes. So that's great. Go ahead, you all. You see it up on the page. April, if you can, send Shania a flyer. I'm sure you all have created one so we can get it up on the page.
Yeah.
And I can get it up on mine and send it to Robin too so we can help to push it out. Yeah. Yeah, we got to help you in any way that we can. I understand how important it is to make sure that these children are getting some education during the summer. But not only that, you all remember, there are children who go to school to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we got to remember this. They go to school to eat. School will be out. So they'll go to the parks, I hope, if the madman doesn't decimate that as well. But Florida has an option to be able to pick it up if they choose to do it anyway on their own. Last year, we were asking.
I'm sorry, Diane.
No, I was just going to say last year, we were asking them for what, 7 or 8 million? The 11 million, I think, for 240 million coming from the feds, and they didn't want to do it.
I think City Council, I think last year they were, I think Lynn was pushing this for parks to be more equipped, like for kids in the summertime and so forth. You know, back in the day, we had PAL. We had PAL and we had the Girls and Boys Club. And those were, PAL was like a very
Police Athletic League, really is what PAL was. Yeah. Police Athletic League.
Yeah. But now, I don't know what the scale of pay is. I've heard different things on it. And the Boys and Girls Club, it was one right in Rovers Park.
Right.
They've shut that down, and now it's the something house, Richmond House.
Or, Rich House,
or something of that nature. Yeah, so those.
Oh, you went mute.
You said 10 there.
Right. So, hey, if you've got a program and it's this summer, reach out to me. I'd love to talk about it with you. I'd like to even do it on my show on Roku so we can kind of broaden our base some and let people know what it is that we're doing in our city, in our own communities to help ourselves and not just waiting for the state or somebody else. Approximately $2.1 billion in tax cuts.
Yes.
What? $2 billion?
Yeah.
In tax cuts?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Florida?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are going to eliminate we are literally going to eliminate the business rent tax, or we're taking it down, I think, 1 percentage point. So right. That's what we're gonna, huh?
900 million.
We're gonna lose 900 million in tax money from business tax rent. Well, hey, I was a business owner for 37 years. I've been paying it forever. So I think it's about time. You all might not know this, but we're only one of like maybe 4 states in the whole country that still charge a business rent tax. So that will help some businesses hopefully be able to employ some additional people. They don't have that business rent tax because it's based on your rent and you had to pay it. It started back at about 6% in addition to all the sales taxes that you have. But
wait a minute, so if your rent was $100, you sent the
whatever 6% of that $100, $60, you would have had to pay every month.
You sent it to the state?
You had a paper, girl. You had to file. Oh yeah. You had a form you had to fill out. Of course, Robin. We tax everything. Tangible property taxes. I own my own stuff, but if it's over a certain amount, I still got to pay taxes on it, really, but it's mine. Okay, so hey, that's kind of how this works. But on this business tax, rent tax, they've been trying every year since I've been there. We've been reducing it a little bit along, trying to get it to the point that it will go away. But they cannot give big, giant tax cuts to big business and think that we can cut the rent tax and property taxes. And what's going to happen? So reoccurring annual transfer, $750 million to budget stabilization fund, $300 million in family-friendly sales taxes, tax exemptions. I don't know what those are. Did they list those yet?
No, they didn't. He didn't list it.
Okay. That all of these things
so far.
Right. All of these things will be going through Ways and Means. I do sit on the Ways and Means Committee, so I will know the real in-depth truth of what exactly they're planning to do. So obviously, if they've reached an agreement but they'll still haggle over it. I mean, they've reached an agreement of kind of, sort of, but not exact, because we still have to go through the budget, and they'll be back and forth on how much money they're willing to give up and all of this stuff. So budget conferencing, but we're going to be on the floor on Thursday. I'm anticipating that we will have solved this budget situation. But remember, the budget has to sit on the table for 72 hours. So maybe that's why they're coming back on the 16th to sine die, because it does have to sit on the table for 3 days after we have reached a decision on what the budget looks like. And if you sit on the budget committee, you literally have to sign your name to it. I've sat on it every year. I did not ask to sit on it. I don't want to be anywhere near the budget, to be perfectly honest. But no, it's an interesting process, and we have to pay attention to what kind of taxes. She said, "What is those are things like diaper tax. You all might know that we have a permanent diaper tax renewal. There's no taxes on Pampers at all. There's no taxes on toothpaste and some other stuff, toothbrushes and some other things. Those are family friendly. No."
Let me look at my receipt, because I just bought some toothpaste.
But if that's all you bought, then you'd see no tax. But you bought some other stuff, you got taxed on it. But yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, there's adult incontinent products, no sales tax on them at all. We passed that last year. We were trying to get. I was hoping that they would get rid of the 2-week sales tax holiday for back to school and make it more permanent, and just everything under a certain dollar amount, which we did talk about in Ways and Means, under $75 per item would not be taxed, like clothing, that kind of stuff would not be taxed. But I don't know where that sits, because we did not continue on. But those are the things, April, that are called family friendly. I'm assuming that they're probably going to include family friendly as things that you can also harden your house with. Last year we had the refrigerators and stoves, and what I don't like is concert tickets should not be tax-free for no period of time, because you can pay to go to the concert, pay the dang sales tax. But hey.
But yeah, all those different fees they put on top of that.
We say
they put some fees on top of
right.
To stop the fees.
But if you can afford to go to the concert,
$300 and they have $200 worth of fees in it.
You can afford to go to the concert, you can pay some sales tax. But they have a period of time for sales tax free for that. They have sale tax free for camping gear and equipment, and you name it. There was a lot. So I don't know what's going to be in this bill. But as soon as we know, we'll certainly let you all know exactly what's going to be tax free this year and for how long a period of time. We were hoping for some permanent tax cuts, similar to what we did with the diapers and the incontinent products. So who knows?
Where can we get the list of what's currently?
You probably just Google it.
Okay.
Google what's in the tax package, and you should be able to see what they're proposing. And this is just that they're proposing this. Now we go back to Tallahassee; they still have to debate this. 9 times out of 10, once they've kind of reached an agreement, you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. But hey, we'll get to see. And then the governor, well, I'm sure if they're this close, the governor has weighed in, because that was a sticker. The House, the Senate president, and the governor were all in disagreement. So if they say that we now have reached a compromise of some sort, I'm assuming that includes the governor's blessing. But who knows?
Okay, let's find out.
That's what I want to know. Who caved on what? Well, obviously, sales tax is not on the list, so we caved in the House on the sales tax piece, because we were trying to reduce it to 5%, 5.2% for your sales tax. So I'm going to assume we failed at that. So let's say we caved right there. Now, what did the Senate give up? I don't know. What did the governor give up? I don't know. But we'll be able to find out, and then we'll be able to let you know what they gave up. Because
so
I don't know.
Pushing 5.2% sales tax.
Yes. from the 6.5 we have currently. I think it's 6.5. I can't keep up because we have a 0.5 cent sales tax in Hillsborough, don't we?
On that passed?
Yeah, that passed last time.
Yeah.
Guess what? They passed. The governor signed a bill that's going to allow them to sell your debt within 30 days.
They do that anyhow.
Yeah, but normally they're selling your debt. And they don't normally sell it within 30 days. It'll be 60 days, 90 days.
Oh,
they at least tried to collect it from you for several months, and you just ignored them. And then
they do is right. So I owe Joe Blow company something. He writes it off
and sells my debt.
Yeah, and then
as a loss.
Then they try to collect the debt. They don't try to collect your pennies on the dollar. They collect the debt.
Yeah, the whole debt.
He's already written it off.
And got paid for it. So, hey.
And got paid for it.
Yeah. It's a sad commentary, but I was under the impression that we were not going to, Biden was putting into place no medical debt would be on your credit at all. But I'm kind of thinking if they're selling this debt, that person who bought that debt may very well put this on your credit because they want their money.
Yeah.
I bought your debt. Now I want to get paid for it. And they bought it for pennies on the dollar and they want the whole dollar.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will take less.
Else got paid for it.
Right. So that's a bill that did get passed and the governor already signed it. He also signed an EpiPen bill that will allow kids in elementary school to be able to have their EpiPens. I guess it'll probably be kept at the nurse's station or something. But that's now, good. Yeah. Listen, I thought it was already.
So that was a problem. You would think that's common sense.
You heard me say, I thought it was already a law. Little do I know, there's a new law go down every day. Every day we put something into legislation. But obviously, I guess maybe schools were having some problems with it. Now you're mandated to do it. You don't really have a choice.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what we do, though. And it's because we can. Because we can do whatever we like in Tallahassee. And there's nothing you can do about it other than vote our butts up out of there, which is what we need help in doing. Yeah. Getting people out of there that have, kind of basically sat in their seats and done the same thing year after year after year that did not help their constituents at all. And that's the part that gets me. I didn't help my people, but you let me stay. I think the goal was to allow them to keep them in their possession. I don't know what.
The EpiPen.
Oh, okay. That's what it was.
They understand how to.
Everybody, right. These kids who know they have a problem know how to take care of themselves. Well, the bill passed. I saw Senator Carlos out of Orlando, Carlos Smith, who was carrying that bill over in the Senate. Him on some pictures on Facebook saying that it had been signed by the governor. But then I looked it up this morning. I also see, it was signed by the governor. So
I wonder if with the way everything is now, I wonder if somebody is like, people going to office and they say they're going to do X, Y, Z, and somebody like Trump comes along and they back up, they don't do it, and so forth. I wonder if you can have a written agreement with. I'm thinking through this. Because it's all about accountability, right? Something that can you recall? Can you recall?
They can recall people, but they recall. You mean an elected person?
Yeah,
I understand they can, but you have to have so many thousands of votes or something. There's something in the Constitution, I believe, that would allow you to do a recall. But how they do it, I'm not exactly certain. But hey. Your commitment needs to be with your community folk and that elected official. And they fail to do their part, hey, you need to be calling on them, calling for their heads and making sure that they do not get reelected again. But somehow we seem to just let them ease right on back up in that seat all over again. And in North Florida, I could hardly believe that those people still have their seats. You have storms 5 years old and they've not even been made whole from that storm. And on top of that, they've had storms. No. Our state, where we could push money into these states.
Oh.
Florida doesn't allow legislators, Malik say, but everybody else, can America? Yeah, I guess America can be recalled because somebody did, but that was California. But yeah, Malik says not in Florida we can't recall our legislator. That doesn't speak to the rest of the folk. But yeah, but it has to be so many votes. I mean, so many petition signers. And today, to get a petition, you got to have a license, damn near, to be a petitioner. So, yeah. That's so that regular people like you and I cannot get anything put into the Constitution without a real fight. And that's so unfair because we've changed the Constitution at least over 125 times. We've changed it ourselves because we can.
The process with you guys changing, right?
Yeah, the process is we vote for it. Yeah, y'all got to go out for a vote to make it happen. We stroke a button and and take it into and make some changes. We do it all the time. It's really crazy, and it's not fair though. There are some things that we do have to put out and to vote on, but we make too many changes, period. And we don't want our people to do anything. Superintendent is being called at Tallahassee on Tuesday. They wrote a letter threatening the whole board. Who did? Dave? The superintendent being called. Do we know why he's been called to Tallahassee on Tuesday? I had not heard about him being called. Listen, it takes all of us to know what's happening out here, and I greatly appreciate you saying that. I'll have to ask some folk. But yeah, no, I had no clue he was being called to Tallahassee.
A letter threatening the whole board. Who wrote a letter threatening the whole board? Dave?
Yeah,
April. Being called to Tallahassee.
We're asking the same thing, April. Why? Because I didn't know anything about it. I'm being called back to Tallahassee on Tuesday.
Maybe you'll see him in passing.
Maybe so. I'll hear about it for sure. They got him up there. It's going to be for some kind of a question and answer. Jessica Vaughn.
What about Jessica Vaughn?
She wrote a letter? Dave, call us up. 813-573-1567. Again, 813-573-1567. I'd love to know.
Jessica Vaughn has the letter. Who wrote the letter?
Oh, the state sent a letter.
The state wrote the letter.
To our board, to our superintendent and our board. Have they talked about it publicly? What might be in the letter?
Department of Ed.
What are they threatening us with? I wonder.
Yeah, why they threaten the whole board? To remove all of them?
Because he doesn't mind removing you and putting a Republican in your spot. For sure. No, I had no idea. That's a letter. Don't know. We'll have to try and find out. Somebody will leak it. I'm shocked they haven't already leaked what's in the letter.
Well, he knows it.
He knows that the letter is out there, but does he know the content of the letter?
Yeah, he said Jessica Vaughn has the letter.
Right.
Oh, she's the chair.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, maybe I could call the chairwoman and see. Well, let's jump off of that for a second. I know that the children's board had a meeting. Was it last week? And
I don't know.
They had a dog and pony show. It's why the meeting here is changed to Monday. Look at me talking about, I didn't know we were having, I'm not even in Tampa. I guess I don't. I'm completely out of touch. But wow, okay. Yes, to remove all.
Oh,
so now, what did they do that he wants to get rid of everybody? Because I tell you, because we can. Jessica published it. Where is it published? We'd like to see it.
On her Facebook page.
Is it on her Facebook page?
It's probably on her Facebook page.
I'm asking him, is it on her Facebook page so that we could see it? Wow. I really like to see that. But anyway, I understand that the Children's Board gave this long dissertation and all this other mess, but did they make anything happen? And I don't think so. I don't think they made anything happen.
I'm telling you, you got to start escalating that nonsense with them.
So, hey,
And getting more than, and the thing is, getting more than Black people that's affected, because I know there's other people affected and impacted.
It's on her page, Robin.
It's on her page.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the young lady who actually took
Let me go check.
Please go check. Please, April. We need the skinny on it. Please call us and tell us what it says. I'd like to know. I had no idea that the Board of Education sent them a letter.
Yeah.
To remove them all for what? It would have to have something to do with some crazy books or something that they failed to do, that they've been told they want them to do, that kind of stuff. Maybe somebody talked about sex education. Who knows? But damn near anything. About 10 days ago, April. Okay. So she knows to go way back. Dave, you didn't tell us this last Saturday. We would have known this morning exactly what transpired. We got to keep up with the dirt in the community. We need to know. The superintendent was requested to appear because he did not remove what I just told you. Sexually explicit books in some of the schools. What I tell you, I'm up here with them crazies.
There has been parents going to the school board for a few years telling them, child, you know what? And those parents, with their stupid, silly behinds,
too slow moving books.
They go up there, and you know, there's kids in the audience. There's even kids watching, possibly. But they go up there, and they're fussing about these books that's in the library and so forth, right? But they get up there and read the explicit shit that's in the book out loud to kids that's in the audience. And I was there one day, and that's what they were doing. I was there for something totally different, but that just struck me, and I was like, "How y'all are upset about these books being in school, but you here reading this stuff to people, these kids that's in the audience,
they're sitting here listening to it, Wow.
Listen to Monday 4 p.m. Oh, so it's gonna be on Monday,
as opposed to Tuesday, and I'll be traveling Monday. Headed back up to Tallahassee.
Those people, it is something.
I'm hoping that April can tell us what the heck else is in the letter. But I figured immediately.
I heard you, Robin, and you spoke out. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is crazy with them. Oh, you're on mute, Shania. I see your mouth.
I thought I unmuted myself. But I feel like most of those books were books that we didn't even normally pick up. Like they weren't even books that sounded even appealing for us to know that it was something in there. You know, I don't know.
It's this
that one book in the middle on the shelf that's like, oh, okay, we're not reading that. Because most of the books when you go to the library, you had to pick up a book that either your teacher told you had to read this book, or it had to fit this genre. It had to be this many pages. It had to there was a whole list always of when we went to the library. Okay, what book
you were gonna get?
So, yeah,
it's crazy.
Sometimes I feel like they're reaching.
Well, you all do know that
they're going there, combing, just looking for books, because 9 times out of 10, once upon a time when you didn't have access. How many kids now go to the library just to go read a book when they can put it up on their phone or pull it up on their computer or on their iPad or whatever?
Well, you all know where it's coming from. And Dave, you hit it just right. It's Moms for Liberty. He said that they do a citizen's arrest and the police don't stop them. I wish one would touch me. Moms for Liberty. Yeah, but we have a Moms for Liberty sitting on the school board.
Who is that?
I can't tell you which one of them new people. I almost said something else. Which one of them new wonderful people are there? But yeah, you have a Moms for Liberty. One of them. I'm trying to remember who was it that got elected.
Rainer is new, and she's in Ruskin. And I knew there was one running. But
yeah,
Rainer
I thought she won. And I know we got several in Tallahassee, and that's all they talk about. Our school, the books. We got a couple of crazies up there. And that's all they talk about. It's getting rid of. But do you all realize? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say for our session gift that you get, some of them will literally send a book and have something to do and be like, oh, this is one of the books, and and it'd be like Moms for Liberty on there. Somebody did that this past session, like gave you a book for your session gift, and was like, oh, I hope that this like strikes, something within you.
Craziness. It strikes me to tell you to leave me alone and mind your own business. Also, though, what's so terrible about Florida, anybody from around this country can file a complaint against a book. You don't even have a child in school. No, yeah. You don't even have a child in school. But you can file a complaint and ask for a book to be removed. April is basically saying, here you are, you're worried about this book agenda, but you don't care nothing about the discipline, the lack of accountability and administration suspending 7-year-olds and other important ish. We feel you. Yeah, absolutely. So, dang. But hey, I figured it was around something to do with books because they're good and crazy up there in Tallahassee, and they have the people to make it happen. So I hope
waste taxpayer money because we're going to have to pay for the superintendent to go there, probably stay the night. That's taxpayer money.
And you probably have to bring somebody else. You probably have to bring somebody else with him. I doubt that he'll come by himself. I doubt that. Well, what I can tell you all is, hey, there's a lot going on in that wonderful goddamn Tallahassee. But yeah, we are allowing people from around this country don't have children in school and have nothing to lose. A Moms for Liberty is on the Hillsborough County Charter Review. Okay, oh Lord have mercy. If a Moms for Liberty is anywhere, you're in trouble, you all. Anywhere at all, in any capacity. Yeah, I agree. I think they're slightly touched.
Different way of thinking.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And look, they bringing them in all different colors too.
Yeah, but yeah.
So it's not just the white ones.
No, it's some black girls up in there on Moms for Liberty. Moms for Lunatics is what they ought to be called. But hey, what can I say? Y'all, I know, listen, we didn't talk about city council today. Robin wasn't at council. She was out of town.
They were off.
Oh, they were off. Good deal. All right, it's 9:05, you all. I got to get prepared to head back to Tampa to head to Tallahassee. So I'm going to get up and get my bags packed. My flight is out tomorrow.
You had fun in Las Vegas.
Oh, I had fun everywhere. I listen. We were out the other night at a live jam. Go on my Facebook page. You'll see Thomas playing his harmonica.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So we had a good time. We didn't stay out too late, but we did have a good time. We didn't really do a whole bunch of going out here. Maybe tonight we'll go out since it's our last night here in Detroit, and we're gonna head for sunny Florida tomorrow, and then on Monday we're gonna head for Tallahassee. Why, I do not know. Could they just leave me alone? But hey, so we look forward to it. Let's get this budget done so we can put this behind us. At least we know what the next year looks like. And as you all know, 2026 is sine die for me, and I'm looking forward to it. Can't come soon enough. So thank you all so much for joining us this morning. As usual, we always have a little bit of fun, but hey, good morning. Listen, so we're going to hop off. We're hopping off early. I know y'all not used to us being right at 9 o'clock, but I really need to get packed up so that I can head for home. Shania needs to pack her bag so she can get ready to head for Tallahassee. We got a lot going on.
I need to get back in bed. Well, I'm going to So You Want to, I forgot the name of it, So You Want to Run, but I'm going back and getting in the bed when I come home.
Girl, I ain't mad at you. The Black community needs to establish a core group of leaders and parents to get on the superintendent's calendar, like the many coalition and groups that meet with him monthly. We don't have a voice. All right, parents, y'all hear her. And all those groups out there. There's a part of the 409 or 509. Y'all know, I don't know. 409 or 509. Yeah. Some of those people sitting on that committee should certainly be a part of doing just that.
And she was doing something with the school district, with the completions and all that other stuff. Well, she was,
that bill passed.
That was one of the issues that they brought up.
Yeah, well, that's been going on the last couple of years. That's something Susan and I tried to pass a few years ago. However, it did pass this year. There will be no more certificates of completion. I don't know the rest of the deal yet, but I'm sure the governor signed it. I think he signed it early. So kids will get an opportunity to stay in school.
Congratulations to the 2025 graduates.
Oh, yeah.
I attended my great niece's graduation. Jada Thomas. I was going to say Walker. Jada Thomas. She graduated from Tech.
Oh, wow. That's Robin School. Also, I'm glad you mentioned that. My niece is graduating from, where's Paula? Phoenix, Arizona, from the University of Arizona. Paula is literally flying out to Phoenix. Tamika Miller is getting her master's degree. So she's going to walk. So she's flying out to the university to walk that aisle. Congratulations, Tamika, sweetheart. Yeah. And to all of you all who graduated, it's wonderful. Somebody's saying when. I don't know when to what. When, April? Oh, I was understanding that the crazy 34 convicted felon just pulled all the money from the Job Corps. So I assume that means that they will all have to close. I don't know.
That's right, Alicia. Tech.
Whatever. Anyway, love each and every one of you all. How about Middleton, the Taggers?
Okay. Because it's a black school.
I
tell people I don't have a favorite football team. If it's a black quarterback and a black coach, I'm for it because they have the less, opportunities. So Middleton and Blake didn't attend those schools, but I'll give y'all honorary connection.
We thank you. We thank you. Yes, back when I was in high school, it was all black schools. We were not integrated. So hey, we had a real village, and baby, the teachers didn't play. So anyway, all right, you all. Thank you all so much this morning, ladies, for joining me. Be a blessing to someone else. I promise you, someone will be a blessing to you. Just try it out for a moment. Try it. Be good to somebody else and see what happens for you. I promise. Love y'all. See you at home. Bye. Middleton needs a new something, you all. Oh, the principal sucks. Wow. Paulette says her nephew graduated in Maryland and she was able to attend.
You remember that big conversation I had about Middleton, and she wanted community people to come out and contact them 3 times and had people wanting to come and have a conversation and had not heard back from her. I don't know if she sucks or if she got busy, but I ain't gonna beg people because people were really contacting me saying, "Hey, Robin, what can we do?" Organizations, what can we do? Sean was like, "Hey, we want to be a part of it." Pastor on Patrol, we want to be a part of it. Couldn't even get a meeting with her again, and I spoke with her like 3 times.
Wow, that doesn't say much for her. Those are the things that, well, I guess not. Maybe we don't want to. Auntie Paula is taking off right now, headed for Phoenix, Arizona for her baby's graduation. She just put it up. Yep. All right, you all. We could talk on forever. Y'all know people will keep putting things in and we'll keep commenting to it. But we'll see you next week. I'll tell y'all what happened in Tallahassee. We'll be on our way. You want her from her lazy. Oh, you won't hear from her lazy self. Okay. Hey, when we all get home together, let's see if we can get on our agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. Look forward to seeing you all. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a great week. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you all, Facebook family and friends.